This is St Aidan's church in Billinge, Wigan. And there's a very interesting gravestone. You can see above the door, the church was built or opened in 1718. Quite a modest graveyard there. So here's the other part of the graveyard. It's quite a bit larger here. But we'll head back this way so that I can show you the one in particular that I'm referring to, which has a very curious and interesting history. So the headstone I want to show you, it's not really a headstone, as you will see, but it is also been designated a listed building. I think it was in the 1960s it got that. So we're now in the other part of the graveyard alongside the church. And here is the very interesting grave. I'll give you a closer look. Not something you see in most graveyards. It's a coffin-shaped. Structure. And there's a very interesting history to it. If you look at the top, the skull with what look like batwings, probably angel wings to carry the deceased into the afterlife. But probably the most interesting thing about this is what encircles the design. It's a snake eating its own tail, and that is called an Ouroboros. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Ouroboros.
And just up to the right there is the date, 1720. So that's 2 years after this church was opened, but some 300 years old. So as you can imagine, the story behind this has different versions over the years, over the centuries. But here's the names. Not sure if you'll be able to read that, but it says George and Kitty Smith. So the story goes that George worked in a quarry nearby, just over to the right, in what is now known as Billinge Hill. In the 18th century, George worked in the quarry, and apparently when he'd taken a break from work, he got bitten by a snake. But his wife Kitty, quite sadly, couldn't cope with the loss of her husband. She died of a broken heart not very long afterwards, and they had to open up the grave and bury Kitty in there with George. The age of this being 3 centuries old, there are various versions of the story. So one of the versions is that Kitty actually died first and George couldn't cope and sadly took his own life. Not sure which is the correct version, but it's known as the vampire grave. You can believe what you want to believe. Just above the design again, I'll just show you. This bit here, it's supposed to resemble a veil, or a curtain if you like, and that veil is a depiction of a person passing from life into death. Very interesting piece of history, just in Billinge in Wigan. Right near the main road there, that's Newton Road running that way, and the main road there at the lights where the Eagle and Child pub is Main Street, Billinge. I hope you've enjoyed this very interesting tale, and I'll put information in the description for you to read at your leisure. And I'll see you on the next one.